Hello and welcome to another video segment as part of a leg lengthening procedure. Today, I would like to give you a recommendation regarding the planning of your work at night during the lengthening process. Many of my patients work regularly during the leg lengthening process. This is completely fine and feasible if a few aspects are considered. First, the timeline should be planned accordingly. I always recommend taking about 4 weeks off from work. Of this time, you should spend about 1 week at home in your daily routine without being involved in work. The main advantage of this is that you can get used to your daily rhythm without immediately being under stress to handle additional work. After 4 weeks, you can then gladly return to work. I recommend approaching the return to work slowly, initially with part-time for 2 weeks. If you then see that everything is going well, you can gladly return to full-time work. However, it should be clear that not every type of work can be performed. For example, in the context of a leg lengthening, you cannot work on a construction site or on unstable terrain. Likewise, jobs that require long periods of walking, heavy lifting, or constant changes in position are not possible. Climbing more than 2 flights of stairs to work is often burdensome, and longer commutes to work should be avoided. The optimal plan for a full-time position would be as follows: a maximum of 3 days in the office and, if necessary, 2 days working from home. There is also frequent inquiry about when one can drive a car during the lengthening process, or when this will be possible again within the context of the lengthening. From the 4th week after the operation, driving should be possible again from a biomechanical perspective, although I must limit this to automatic or electric vehicles. Driving with a manual transmission is not possible. Another aspect that must be considered is the intake of medication. If you are taking strong painkillers, then you are inherently unfit to drive, so this aspect must also be taken into account in the planning. Regarding work or the workplace, it fundamentally doesn't matter whether you work from home or in the office. You should just consider certain guidelines. The worst thing you can do during thigh lengthening is to engage in prolonged sitting activities. Due to the bending at a 90-degree angle in the hip joint during sitting activities, the hip flexors contract again, and all your stretching efforts of the day are undone. I regularly observe that it is inevitable for patients who sit for extended periods during the day to develop a duck butt. For this reason, the guideline is to sit for a maximum of 1 hour at a time during a thigh extension. You can work at a standing desk or use a kneeling chair, or lie on your stomach and work on a laptop. All of this is easily possible and also permitted. You should avoid sitting for extended periods under all circumstances. You should also make a short change of position approximately every hour during work, and ideally walk for about 5 to 10 minutes. This is good for muscular relaxation and also for the circulation of the muscles. It is often asked whether you should walk with forearm crutches or walk freely without forearm crutches or aids during this time. My general recommendation is always to maintain a good walking pattern. The ability to walk freely or use support does not depend on the nails, but rather on your training status. If you have a good walking pattern, you are welcome to walk freely. In public, I would always prefer to have some support for stabilization for safety. This could be hiking poles or forearm crutches. But when you are out and about, you should have something for safety that protects you from falling. It should never happen that a small child or a dog bumps into you, causing a fall. At home or while working in the office, this is not a problem. Then mobility definitely depends on your training status.